1, 2, 3, 4.
Like, someone would have to be trying to beat you or Colton up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can't, yeah.
Otherwise, like, dude, there was one video where it was two dudes fighting, and somebody, like a third bystander, in like a mall, is like trying to be like, hey guys, hey guys, hey guys. Like,
Yeah, there are very few
trying to like knock it off, guys.
reasons
Like, dude, you're just like, I did it one time.
to have a fight in the mall.
No. It broke up a fight. Or, well, it didn't even start into a fight. It was like, I mean, it was just about to happen. In front of, probably Monty's.
Oh, I don't know if I know that. Oh, my mic's not on.
Oh, dude. We would have recorded the whole thing, and you'd have been like, I can't hear myself.
Well, yeah, that's why I was wondering at first. Like, I don't hear my
Yeah,
voice.
now I can hear you. Great.
Hear me in your dreams.
But
So
yeah,
what happened?
It was like,
People you knew?
yeah, it was, I want to say it was a Wednesday, because I think I really only ever went up there regularly on a Wednesday, because it was like open mic night.
And you, what? Did jokes?
No, I didn't do anything for open mic night. I knew the guy that
You
ran
made
open
fun
mic
of
night.
the people that tried to do jokes?
I didn't make fun of anybody. There was no, I don't think I ever saw one person try to do stand up there. That would have.
Just singing and stuff?
I knew the guy that ran it there.
Yeah.
But it was another thing about it though. It probably wasn't a Wednesday because there was music. Like the fight happened because of the jukebox. It was like there were just
Someone picked a song that other people
well, it
didn't
was,
like?
the crowd was mostly younger people,
Yeah.
and then there was like a handful, like 5, like folkies, just old folks,
Right.
and so it was like a lot of like just it was like modern rap music was playing, and I had gone out front to smoke, and one of the old guys were out there, and he like just out of nowhere started to chat me up, and was like, "Can you believe they're playing this N music?" And I was just like, dude, like you can't say that.
That's what you said?
I was like, dude, it's like 20. I think I literally told him whatever year it was. It was like 2017, 2018. I was like, it's like 2018, dude. You can't say that anymore. And he was like, oh, whatever. And there like happened to be somebody else out there that was smoking, that was maybe mixed, and was just like not about it.
I can imagine. And he fought the old guy?
I mean, they were about to. They were
What?
actually. You know what? I'm not even sorry. I'm actually just ruining. Are we? No, we have started mixing these stories up completely.
Okay. Because I was going to say that's kind of an unfair fight.
No, that ended with me just being like, "You can't say that," and the guy kind of being like, "What? Like what? Like what's the problem?" And I was like, "Dude,
What's the problem?
like it's just inherently racist. Like you just can't say that, dude. It's not cool. You're not even like making a joke. You're just being like, hey." You have the same skin color as me. You're cool if I say this. And I was just like, nope, not going to be part of that conversation.
Yeah.
The fight one was just like, there was a bunch of us outside smoking. And it was over, there's like baby mama drama. It was like a dude who was up there and his ex, who has like his baby mama, was there as well with somebody else.
Can I tell you that I really hate those, like,
and the dude was talking shit. Like, that's why your
titles.
That's why your son's with me or something. And they were about to square off. And I was just drunk enough. There was a bunch of us out there. I'm pretty sure I felt safe enough. But it was just drunk enough. And I was just like, guys, like, we have like an hour left here. Like, are we really going to get the cops called because y'all are just arguing because somebody like talked shit?
You knew these people?
Nope. I think I barely knew the one person. Like the one person, the father. I think I like somewhat knew him. I was like friendly enough to just be like dude, like you're like, why are you even gonna bother letting this dude like talk shit? I was like, I think I was literally like, don't you have custody? Like, what the fuck?
Such a peacekeeper.
It was the stupidest decision. I could have easily just gotten like stabbed, knocked out, unconscious.
Yeah.
Brain damaged.
Yeah.
That was a bad place. I almost got into a fight myself. I didn't even get into the fight. But, like,
there's a story that just popped into my head that I really want to tell you. I'm going to just tell you, and I can cut it out if I decide I want to cut it out.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
So, you see my dad's hands, right? Like, he has one of his fingers is, like, at the knuckle. It's, like, the top is missing.
Yeah.
Well, like, all growing up, he would tell me and my siblings, like, if we ever asked about it or something when we were younger, he would just tell us, that's what happens when you pick your nose or something like that. Well, later in my, I don't know if it was in, like, middle school life, high school life, I think my brother told me, he was like, you know how dad actually, like, got, like, you know how that actually happened, right? And I think he told me something about how
I think there's only 3 or 4 possible answers.
Well, so he would always joke around and say, like, the picking the nose thing. And then I think in my own head, I made up the fact that, like, okay, maybe at work, because I didn't know much about his work. So I was thinking, like, maybe it got stuck in machinery. Mm-hmm. But I don't even think that he was ever really involved with heavy machinery at work. He, like, delivered, like, stuff. He, like, drove. I don't want to be too specific, obviously. But, so my brother actually, I think it was my brother, said that, like, no, he was, like, out driving for work one day, and he was, like, going past this guy who was giving this girl trouble on the sidewalk, and you could tell, like, he was being aggressive with the chick. And so he said dad got out of the truck and, like, went and confronted the dude, and, like, he cut his finger off or something, like, cut the tip of his finger off.
Oh, weird. Tough to do.
Yeah. And, like, now that I'm telling you this, like, I think that someone told me that. Maybe I just made it up in my head.
You should just ask your dad. Like, hey, did somebody cut your finger off?
I should just ask my dad, you know? Maybe I dreamt that story. Who knows?
Because I feel like he has mentioned it to me.
Chief's like...
That, yeah, it was just, like, some random work thing.
Oh, really?
No. Go lay down. Go lay down.
He's like, where the fuck's my mic? I got something to say.
You don't get shit, dude.
Watch the wires. Come on, bub.
Oh, now you just fucking...
Sit.
Attention whore for the camera, dude.
Yeah, but you just reminded me of that when you said, like, you could totally have easily gotten hurt that night.
I always remember seeing my dad's feet were all messed up.
Really? How so?
Like, he's
missing toes?
Yeah, he didn't have... Well, he wasn't missing a toe, but I think his toenail... Either there was just no toenail ever, or, like, the way that it got injured, like a flap of skin grew over top of it.
Over the nail?
I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, it has
Chief,
to be...
you can't be up here if you're just going to be licking yourself.
There was no toenail. But it was from him stepping, like somebody in his squad stepping on a landmine in Vietnam.
Oh.
I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, did it ever affect his walking or anything?
No, I mean, I'm sure when it first happened, yeah. But no, he was, like, as normal as could be.
Yeah.
It's always weird.
Yeah, I mean...
I always have wanted to get more, like, real, like, documentaries. Stories. Well, not even the stories, like, details. Like, I'm not looking for stories of, like...
From your dad?
Yeah, I'm never, like, looking for, like, did you kill somebody stories, like, but I would like to know...
Like, you just remind me of Tom Segura.
Like, the details.
Because he would, like, his dad would just all of a sudden be like, you know, feels really good to...
What was the joke about the birds? Like the enemy's got to die. Something like that.
Something, yeah.
So... But I've also just never wanted to, like... I feel like asking is, like, kind of disrespectful.
You think so?
A little bit. To just be like, hey, tell me about war.
Maybe, like, if it were somebody else, but if it's your own dad... I don't know.
Or I feel like otherwise he would have, I don't know, brought it up, something.
So I want to know if this happens to anybody else. But it's happened to me, like, actually it happens almost every time. So the toaster, it has numbers on it. You can set whatever number you want, you can pick it. Like, you're in control. I'm in control when I make my toast.
Yeah, allegedly.
So I have it on a setting, and I still, like, I let it go, but I don't let it go all the way to the pop, even though it's on the setting that I pick. I stop it early and then turn it because for some reason it's like it's uneven. Like the
one side,
it gets like darker quicker. But I stop it early, I turn it, and then I set it again, and I still don't let it go to the pop. I stop it early and check it again, just to just to be sure.
Mm-hmm.
But even though I do that, seemingly in total control, I burnt 2 pieces of toast in a row again tonight.
Yeah.
Like,
it's crazy.
Like, I'll stand there.
It's like half the loaf of bread you buy. Those half loaves are like 8 pieces, and you're basically burning.
The second one that I made today, I like walked away to turn on the computer or something, and then
I'm sure that's what happens every time.
Like, in that amount of time, I forgot about it.
Yeah.
I forget
think that you're in full control, yet you forget every time.
Same thing with like stove, like
there's
when
a
I'm
difference
doing veggies or something on the stove.
Between the first time you hit the toaster button, because the thing is completely cold. So you hit the toaster button the first time.
Never thought about that.
It's completely cold. It's got to warm up. When you flip everything,
it's already
it's already hot. So you're literally like at maximum heat, but for the same amount of time.
Yeah.
So think like let's just say the timer is.
I mean, you could have told me this a long time ago.
Yes. Well, I mean, I told you. So stop burning the toast.
For real, the second piece that I made, like most was burnt, and there was like one corner that was good. I buttered and peanut buttered that corner and took the bite and threw it away.
Dude. Oh my god. Crazy.
That one I didn't share with Colton. I wouldn't give him burnt toast. So speaking of Colton, you know, you guys are going to probably think that I'm like not a good mom, but I swear I am. Just because of the stories that I tell on here. Just because the highlights are like
good preface.
Sometimes negative on here, mostly negative on here. So I laid him out today with the vacuum.
Oh, nice.
So I was in the dining room like vacuuming the carpet and like around that little corner, and so I'm facing the wall in the dining room, and he comes zooming around the corner right as I'm like backing up with the vacuum. And it's hard to go over that rug. So I'm coming back with the vacuum as he's coming around and like smack in the middle of his forehead. And he goes back and like hits the side of the couch and hits the floor. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I turned the thing off and he's just like a mess.
Nice, dude. Well, you know.
I don't want to like traumatize him because he likes when I vacuum. He thinks it's a game and like runs from me and.
Probably not traumatizing. He's a young boy, though. You're definitely, you know.
Next time I get it out, he's going to be like, oh, that's that thing that mom beats me with.
Yeah. He's got to get laid out, though. He's a young boy. He's got to learn.
Yeah, he was...
Rough and tumble. I guess it doesn't count because you're hitting him with an object, but he needs rough and tumble play.
Yeah. He was doing it to himself this evening. He was, like, sitting on the couch, and when the table was behind it, like, the island was behind it, he was, like, standing, but, like, going back like this. And he did it, and he hit it once softly, and then just kept doing it. And he was like, oh, let me test the boundaries here. Kept doing it and, like, hit it really hard. And then, of course, he started crying. But I'm like, why would you do that again?
Now he knows.
Exactly.
He knows how hard he can hit his head.
Yeah. So, yeah, you'll see a mark on his forehead tomorrow morning.
Sweet.
It was the vacuum.
Well. Yeah,
sorry, Colt.
Yeah, I don't really hurt him. I haven't hurt him much.
I mean, most of the times it's been like himself. Like when he was younger and he would like smack it on the headboard.
Yeah.
Just because clumsy.
Yeah.
Oh, so I saw on Twitter earlier that they have a date set for the new season of Rick and Morty. Mm-hmm. Did you see that? September like 4th?
Something, 4th. It might be right.
I think it's the 4th.
On Adult Swim. I'm hoping it comes out on HBO Max right away.
Would they do that? Why would they do that?
It's possible that it could be out on Hulu. One of them, I think, has. The same way that like a TV show will come out on HBO and it'll be right on HBO Max right after it releases.
Yeah.
One of those probably has the rights to Rick and Morty so that it airs first. And then we'll release, I don't know, maybe it's the day after.
Well, I hope that's the case.
I'm so used to it being uncut that watching it on Adult Swim.
Oh, yeah. You know, I didn't consider that.
Yeah.
It doesn't play late enough. Isn't there a rule like if it plays late enough, they can do all the
Probably
cursing
not
and
for Cartoon Network, even though like it's Cartoon Network. Like,
really?
yeah, I'd imagine
Oh
because
yeah,
it's
then
a
I don't want
kids
to watch
channel.
it on there.
Yeah, but yeah, I saw. It's gonna be awesome. Looking forward to it.
Me too. Do you remember like what your first pet was?
Yeah.
Like even including if you had like a hermit crab or a hamster or like when you were really young. Do you remember? Or fish?
Yeah.
What was it and how old were you? Do you remember?
I was very young. It was 2 cats.
You had cats?
Yeah. We were a cat family for a while.
Yeah.
Spooky and Dusty, I think were their names.
But you never had.
They got released. I think that's what happened. It's always shaky. I don't remember because I was so young.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure one of my brothers told me that my dad just was like released them
Oh.
out into the world. Yeah.
Do you remember if you had them?
They might have died. I don't know.
When they.
They were old cats when I had them.
Oh.
Like when I was old enough to remember them.
Right.
Yeah.
I wish that I was old enough to remember
They might have come with us
our
from
first
Texas,
dog
actually.
as a puppy.
They might have come with us from
really?
Texas, yeah.
But you never had like anything like a rodent or like.
No.
We used to do the hermit crab thing like when we were little and we went to Ocean City and we would just pick some out of the store and like.
Yeah, I think my parents, like, I mean, most parents should know that like you're responsible for it. Like even though you're getting it for the kid and you're going to tell the kid that they need to be responsible like for it.
Right.
The parents, I think by the time I even would have been old enough, it would have been just my mom, and there's no way that my mom would have been like cleaning a dead hamster out of my room because I neglected it. It wouldn't have happened. She definitely would have been smart enough to have been like, no, we're not getting a hamster. I mean, it took until I was like 13.
Uh-huh.
No, I'd have been younger. 11, maybe 11 when we got our dog.
That was your responsibility completely?
No, it wasn't.
Oh,
because the
okay.
dog was instantly like, they surprised me with the dog. So the first dog.
As a puppy or
no,
like adopted?
Rescued.
Oh,
rescued an abused dog. So the first person that this dog got to know at home was my mom, because I was at my dad's for the weekend.
Yeah.
And I think I had like a game of sport or something that I was playing, or maybe my brother did. I think Owen might have. And I just remember like my dad showing up. We park, and like I was walking out to go like meet my mom and brother. Like we were just meeting up to like say our hellos and stuff.
Yeah.
And I saw my mom's car pull in, and I saw my mom, and I saw my brother, but then I could obviously tell that there was like a third thing in the back seat of the car.
Yeah.
That it wasn't a person. And I was like, ooh, what's that? And then I saw it was a dog, and I was like all happy.
Aww.
And then it was, I mean,
did it like you?
I mean, yeah, she liked me enough. Like she.
Oh, because you were saying that like it got to know your mom.
But she was, I mean, from start to finish, was just like a mom's dog.
Oh.
Just it was. If my mom was gone, like didn't freak out, but didn't care if there was anybody else in the house. Wouldn't really spend any time alone with me.
Oh.
Yeah, just a mom's dog.
Yeah.
Which is fine, because again, I would not have paid attention. I mean, I hardly take care of this dog.
Well, I mean,
and this dog's a financial investment.
To your credit, you work a lot, so.
Yeah, I'm not. Don't even need the excuse. Bubba, don't like you that much.
Oh, he's like, you guys talking about me?
There goes.
Let me come back over. Yeah, I wish I was old enough.
I will say that while I do agree with the whole like adoption thing,
yeah,
I don't think it should be a cut and dry, like adopt, don't shop kind of thing. Because I will say, like, I've had a few adopted. I've had Coco, who was all right. But like I said, like obviously
that was the one you were just talking about.
Yeah, Coco.
What kind of dog was that?
Terribly abused. It was a retriever chow mix. It was a runt-looking retriever. I mean, a very small retriever.
Yeah.
But you couldn't raise your voice around her. She would just quiver and pee everywhere. But other than that, smart, friendly. And then we eventually got a second husky, which I had.
Like a purebred? I didn't know you had huskies.
I mean, it didn't last long because, I mean, I did zero work to talk my mom into it. We, like, went to the pet store to get something for our dog we already had, and it was, like, Adopt a Pet Day.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that husky looks cool. I've always wanted one. We got it that fucking day. Terrible decision.
Just say the word.
Like, Coco was trained. Whatever happened with her.
Like housebroken and stuff?
I mean, housebroken. Well,
housebroken,
the other dog was housebroken.
sit.
But yes, would sit, wouldn't run away from you. Like, if she got out off her leash, she might go like 20 feet from you, 30 feet from you. But if you said her name, she was just like right back. And most of the time, whenever we would go to a dog park, she would just sit next to my mom. Wouldn't interact. Had no care in the world for other dogs.
You know, pause right there because that might be like a big thing with Chow. Chow. I think it's two Chow.
I think
because our first dog was part Chow, and she didn't care about anybody else but us. And my dad could like open the door. So this is something that I feel like hopefully we didn't take for granted when we had her because she lived a long, like, good life. But she was an off-leash dog. Like, she never needed to... She was just about us, and she wouldn't go anywhere else when we were outside. To the point where my dad could open up the front door and let her out purposefully to chase a cat, and she would come right back. Oh. Like, he would see the cat out the window and be like, Star, go get the cat. And then she would go and come right back.
Yeah.
Like, that might be a Chow thing to just, like...
But anyways, terrible dog. Like, tore a hole for whatever reason. We had, like, a leather couch.
Do you know how old the dog was when you got it?
No. I mean, 3, probably 2. Something like that. But we, like, for whatever reason, my mom had, like, a leather couch in the house. Don't know why.
Because she wanted it?
It was terrible. You couldn't sit on it for too long because you get all fucking sweaty. You couldn't lay on it because you get all sweaty. The dog ended up just tearing a hole into it because he's a husky, so he likes to dig into things. Literally dug a hole into it so he could like lay down.
Yeah.
Wasn't crazy mean to Coco, but was also like clearly like, I'm going to dominate you. You don't come up on the bed when I'm on the bed with my mom. And we ended up like just the dog. My mom took the dog back one day.
Oh, took it back to where you got it?
I think she like woke me up and said like that she was taking the dog somewhere. And I was like, all right, weird. And then I woke up for real and like Coco was still in the house and I was like, well, this is very weird. And then my mom came back without the husky and I was like, okay, I guess that happened.
Aww.
And then I had a dog with an ex. That was also just a fucking psycho.
Yeah, I think you've told me about this one. It was a little thing?
No, that one, the Pomeranian was okay because it couldn't do anything. And we bought that one as a puppy.
Was it yappy?
Not too bad.
Really?
No, it was actually, I feel like altogether pretty decently behaved.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, you could let it go outside and it really couldn't go too far because you could just go get it. Like, it wasn't that fast.
Couldn't, yeah.
Yeah, like, it was, I mean, it was fast enough for its size, but it wasn't going to get away from me if I chased it.
Right.
But that one, like I said, we bought. And while I get, like, people like adopt, don't shop, because I guess there's, like, an epidemic of dogs.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, they're dogs. Like,
yeah, I
cut the number down a little bit and then buy dogs that are...
The first reaction I have, like, when I hear that phrase...
Pretty decent, all things considered.
Yeah. Is that, like...
He's a C+ of a dog, behaviorally. That's good, it's passing. It's a passing grade.
It's good, it's great to adopt. Like, of course it's great to adopt and rescue if you can. Like, if you have the time and energy to devote to this new...
Well, I think shop or buy. You need time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Time and energy are definitely a thing.
But I just don't agree with, like, if people try to make others feel bad because they're not rescuing. You know what I mean?
I totally agree. Understand completely.
Like, who are you to say that I can't have one from, like, being a puppy? Like, I want to start with the puppy.
Yeah. The same people...
I want that experience.
I don't know. Dude, the same people that probably are like, you don't understand what it's like, I don't know, not having a kid. Like, I don't know. People who make very definitive statements again, I think it goes back to like that's that person's bumper sticker. We were talking about that last time.
Yeah.
That like, let me tell you about adopting and why. Like, no, you
Right.
can stop everything right there.
Yeah.
I truly don't care what you have to say.
Yeah. I mean, this is gonna sound maybe a little bit heartless, but why should like the thing that you couldn't take care of properly, or like if you created this like dog with behavioral issues or like emotional issues, why should that become my problem? Why should I have to take that on just because you fucked up, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I imagine the person that would tell you that they're adopted, don't shop, they wouldn't consider themselves to be the ones that fucked up. They'd be like, well, actually, I don't know. They think that animal lives are the same as people lives. It's crazy. And yeah, it sounds heartless, but it's like, they're not.
Right. No, they're not.
Like,
I mean, yeah, Chief's a part of our family.
Like,
but...
same thing. Like the one Tom Segura bit where he's like talking about his kid, and he's like, but do you understand that if this dog hurt you, I will drown it in front of you. Be like, maybe don't let it hurt you next time.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like, yeah, do you fucking will like physically rip the heads off of many a dog for the sake of my family.
You know,
my immediate family, to be fair. I think if like,
what if the dog's like super strong though? You know,
all right, well, I'm not like actually talking about fighting a dog.
No, I know, but if it came down to like you didn't really have a weapon around, so they didn't hear the story because you guys didn't hear the story because we recorded one that we didn't put out.
Oh yeah, you're fucking Jesus.
But
Christ.
I'm not gonna say the whole thing over again.
Yeah.
But this was a big, hefty dog, like over 100 pounds.
Your defense mechanism just throw treats at it. I got you. Yeah.
So this dog came up to me, Bubba, and Colton. We were walking around the neighborhood, and this dog came like trotting over. Like it wasn't running because it had like a limpy leg or whatever. But this thing was huge. It was a big husky, over 100 pounds. I was just in my head like, please don't fucking be aggressive. Please don't like.
I don't think there's a dog.
I was waiting for something to pop off between him and Chief because they were just like sniffing each other, circling, I was like trembling a little bit.
I told you the first time, you would have won that fight no matter what because you had Chief. Like, you probably would have beaten it solo. I don't know if there's a dog alive that I don't think there's a dog that I couldn't physically kill. It would suck, and you would definitely get wounded pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that any dog, I mean, they have to bite you with their face, and they're not big enough to kill you outright with a bite. So while it's like eventually I would imagine, get used enough to getting thrashed about that you would then just be like, poke it in its eye, and it would be pretty much game over. And then you throw like, I've got a dog on top of that to help.
But he's right, guys. I have a bag of treats always with me because I like bribe Chief if he's starting to be an asshole.
You threw incentives
on our walks.
You were like, here, buddy.
Well, I was trying to like get him.
That's what you did.
No, I was trying to get him interested in the treat and like throw it away from us. Yeah. So like, here, go eat this while we like make our getaway. Didn't work. Bounced him off his head. Yeah, but it's gross to think about if you would have to like take a dog on with your hands and.
Yeah, I think a cat would actually be significantly worse. Like one-on-one
fucking claws
significantly be like more. Be more affected. I think emotionally more affected about killing a dog. Just physically more affected about killing a cat.
Obviously I'm kind of biased because we never had cats growing up, so I just never was a cat person ever. Yeah. But when we were at your old place,
they're not that cool.
They're not, but also like some can be probably.
Yeah, probably. It didn't help that the one at my old place wasn't fixed.
Also, you'd just be like chilling on the couch, and for no reason he'd come by and like claw you in the big toe.
Yeah.
So I could never have my feet dangling on the floor.
He stopped doing that to me because
you fucked him up.
I mean,
he got you. Remember, he got you in the face a bunch. You were pissed about that.
Even on my birthday, he fucking. I thought I was gonna have to get I thought I was gonna have to get like 2 stitches on my lip.
What a dick!
I could just tell. Like he was just at the corner of the couch. and was like just
frisky.
like that. And I just
did a shimmy,
the dumb move.
Like
where
that
I was like,
meme. Have you seen the meme with Shaq does a shimmy and then
Sure.
the cat does a shimmy?
And I just looked over like, what are you doing, buddy? And then just whap. And I'm like, you fucking dick. Yeah, but there was one day.
And like, is there a rule like you can't clip their nails completely or what?
I mean, it's who fucking cares? There are no rules because it's yours.
Yeah, but like,
it's your
do
object.
they use them for? I mean, climbing obviously.
Yes, it's in practice, in theory.
To just get them a scratching post and hope they file the shits down.
Well, no, it's just it would. Happen. They liken it to like if you were to take like people's top knuckles off, like because it's
really.
It's not even like their nail, like it's literally like a part of their joint.
It's not like on a dog where like you can't go to the quick like.
Well, you could, but it's I think on cats, like, I mean they like climb with them. Like, they're literally, like, digits that they're able to use.
They really don't need to be climbing.
No, you're right. But it would be like saying, okay, well, you, like, if you're just going to live in the house all the time, you don't need the top knuckle. You're never going to have to tie your shoes, so you don't need that little bit. Don't worry about
it. Yeah, okay.
But it was like, I was just walking through the living room, and he just fucking ran up my leg. I mean, just went up my leg, and I just grabbed him by the fucking back of the neck and just chucked him. I mean, I just didn't have any time to calm, like, to think, like, should I do this or not? I was just literally like, you fucker, and I just chucked him. And, like, he didn't get hurt or anything. Pretty sure he just fucking landed.
He was trying to dominate you.
Pretty sure he just landed, like what the fucking cat does. But I think he was like, oh, that thing.
Was this before or after he like pissed in your bed? Because that's probably also like my territory.
I don't even want to think about it. I'm so happy just not to be there anymore. I'm gonna guess that cat isn't there
anymore. My only guess for that would be because there's like a kid involved. Now. Yeah, but I've never been. I mean, are there ones you can like? Is it possible to train them to the point where they get on 0 countertops?
No.
No? You don't think so? Even
No.
with like a spray bottle or like a noise little
thing?
No,
because it's like, I don't know exactly what it is. Or like, just I think it's more like where they are or how they're psychologically hardwired.
They just need to be able to climb?
Well, it's not even that. It's just they're not domesticated. Like, like even a house cat is capable of like being let outside and just being wild, like a wild animal.
Yeah.
Like I don't think, probably because they've never needed to be domesticated. Like I think somewhere in the timeline of like dogs and wolves or whatever, like it was because they're a part of the pack, I guess. Like once they like join into like a human pack, the ability to actually be like domesticated like makes sense. Like it's beneficial to the dog to be domesticated.
I see what you mean, yeah.
Whereas like a cat really would probably never reached a point where it was like, oh, it just sat by a fire. I mean, like some of, I guess, the ideas of like old ancient dogs like becoming like domesticated is like you could literally like get a lone wolf, like it needed food, and you could like throw food out, and get it so used to that being there that it would like get closer and closer and closer, and eventually it would just be like sitting by the fire with cave people, and you're just feeding it, and it becomes, again, I think I would guess because it's a pack animal that it's like, okay, well, I'm no longer like a lone wolf, I'm part of this pack, and the fact that it's like old or maybe has issues doesn't matter because the human's not even really using it for that point most of the time. But anyways, so like, I don't know, cats themselves though, I don't think ever needed to be domesticated because you could literally let them out and they're so hardwired at hunting alone that it, like they're responsible for like the modern house cat is...
Oh, I know what you're going to say, I think.
It's like the most successful of all. It might just be felines, but it's possible that it is the most successful hunter of like all predatory animals. It's responsible for like the extinction of like 115 different animals. I'm not talking about like, I'm not counting lions and shit like that. I'm literally house cats.
Yeah.
Just house cats. They're so good at what they do. It's crazy. And so it's like, why would you be domesticated?
Right.
Like, I mean, I remember, like, I had a cat, the cat that Andy had. Then I ended up like giving over to him.
Mm-hmm.
Spent its whole life indoors. And I remember, like, one of the times that I was over at Andy's house, once the cat was over there living, that, like, we were, like, playing video games. And then we just started hearing, like, a squeal. Had no idea what it was. Had, like, no frame of reference for what it was. And I, like, follow the noise. And I go into, like, the laundry room that was there in the basement. And it was Jake, the cat, with a mouse dead in his mouth. And he was, like, stuck between, like knowing that it's, like, trash. Like, he doesn't need it.
Right.
Like, what do I do further with this? And then the other half of him being, like, this is mine. Like, this is mine. And he would have had no reference.
Did you get it from him?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, once I got to him, like, he was obviously in, like, fight or flight predator mode, because once I, like, got close to him, he just dropped it and, like, bolted.
Yeah.
He, like, I would have assumed had no frame of reference for even how to kill anything.
Yeah.
He'd been in a house his entire life. And he was, like, 11 when that happened. He was just old.
Wow.
And just, like, second nature. Just fucking pounce on the thing. He had, by the way, no front claws either. It's one reason.
Oh.
Like, it's, like, one reason is, like, I don't know, I guess you could say, it's like, if the world ended.
So he killed it with his teeth?
Yeah, he just fucking, I mean, he was huge, so he probably just landed on top of this. Like, even without his claws, he probably just put his paws down on top of it and then bit. But, like, yeah, if your cat should ever escape or something like that, you don't want to declaw it, because you basically get rid of its primary, like, defense mechanism.
Right. But the whole reason I brought up, like, the first pet thing was because, well, my first was our first dog. Like, we got her when I was, like, I think maybe like 3 or 4 as a puppy. But I was gonna bring up, like, I had a couple hamsters over time, and the first one, which I probably, like, doomed, like, gave it a death sentence when I named it, because I named it Lucky.
Yeah.
So little did we know that the cabinets, like, that are, like, the island part of my parents' kitchen, the cabinets that face out to the dining room, I didn't know for sure that, like, there was, like, a hole up underneath of it that led to the vents and shit.
Okay.
So that's where Lucky went, under the cabinets.
And died back there?
Died.
Probably stunk a little bit.
Well, no, my mom found him in, like, the main part of the vent in the basement. Like, in the laundry room where all the machines are, like, the main, whatever you call it. I don't fucking know. The main unit for the... Yeah, and I just remember she told me that she had found him, and I guess I asked to see him, and she just told me, like, just remember him as he was.
Jeez.
Dude was probably crispy.
Damn. Rough way to go.
So I had Lucky, and then I got another one, and I named him Chip, and I think that he just died one day in his cage.
Yeah.
That was less tragic.
They don't have very long lifespans.
But yeah, those are the only types of rodents that I ever... Nowadays, I wouldn't even get a hamster. Yeah. They're just, I don't know, those, mice... It's like weird. To me, it seems weird to own.
I feel like the only thing they are really good for
just looking at, because they're cute a little bit.
No, well, I mean, I guess
hamsters more so than mice.
Teaching, I was just gonna say, teaching, like, the child about.
Oh yeah.
Like, death. Like, this is a thing that happens. Okay,
so we're gonna have to have a discussion when Colt's older if he starts coming to us asking for animals, because there's no way in hell that I'm gonna let him get a snake.
Yeah, like, well, the idea would be we'll just have dogs.
Yeah, like, but what if he wants something gross?
Okay, well, no. Ugh. Pretty easy. Hit him with the old not while you're under my roof.
Either that, or Mama's gonna have to get over her fear of lots of things.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine, like, I feel like most kids get stupid pets. because they don't get a cool pet. He's gonna have dogs. If he's gonna have dogs, he's not gonna want a rat.
I feel like he was making fun of me today because remember I said there was like a big mosquito in here, and like the way I found out was that it like buzzed in my face for a second, so I like went like this, and he started doing that. Yeah. I was like, "Don't mock me."
I think I've asked you, but like we don't plan on like lying to him about death. Like we're not gonna be like, "Oh, he went away in a farm in the sky."
A farm?
I don't know, dude. What people tell people, like.
No, I don't think that we should, but
I don't know, dude.
I don't want to make it gruesome for him.
No, okay, the lights go out.
The lights go out.
The light goes out, and
good.
it's a mystery after that. He's going on a journey.
Before Colton
it's either a very fast journey or it is an awesome journey. Who knows?
Before Colton was born, we like this topic came up a few times, and how we were like, it's going to be a tragic.
I've certainly told you already. I don't know if I want to tell him. Like, I don't know if I'm willing to ride out Santa Claus being real.
Oh, okay. Well, that's an entirely different thing than death.
Very similar.
Similar to death?
Well, it's similar in the sense that most of the time, the option that people give their child is lying to them. And being like, no, Lucky Stripes went to the pool and he's just not coming back. Or being like, yep, you're 9 and Santa's real. And it's like, no, come on, man. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, we have a bit of a difference of opinion there.
Yeah. To me, I just think it's weird. It is a weird...
Did you believe in him growing up?
Santa Claus?
Until a certain age?
Yeah, I don't really remember. I don't, like, it's weird to me that some people be like, I remember when I found out he wasn't real.
Well, I do.
That. I don't have that. I just...
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
I think I had a hunch beforehand, but we were actually like in Toys R Us, and my dad told me. We were all just walking around, and I was kind of just at that age where I was like, yeah, I mean, I figured he couldn't like get to all the houses in one night or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just like, even as an adult, I don't feel silly celebrating the idea of Santa Claus. So I don't want to like rob Colton of that like magic feeling.
Well, you can still
because
like,
I still feel it.
Really enjoy.
Yeah.
I mean, we give each other presents from Santa.
Yeah.
Knowing that it's not Santa. You can do that. Like you don't need to be like. Well, there's this mystical force.
You say that.
Who travels at sub-light speeds to deliver presents.
You say that.
It's pretty weird waste of technology.
I think that you're gonna find it hard to. I think when Colt gets older and he starts asking more and more detailed questions about it, I think you're gonna have a hard time too.
No, I think I'm gonna be like, dude, our kid is smart. I'm hoping that he's gonna be 6 and be like, wait a minute, we don't even have a chimney, and I'll be like, yeah, dude, you figured it out.
Yeah.
We don't.
So
he's not real.
So here's the consequence to all this, and like obviously it shouldn't really care because like they're not our kids, but like if he starts telling other people, if he knows early the truth, and he starts like telling other people and upsetting them, and that upsets their families.
Then,
like that's not our problem, obviously.
I couldn't imagine having another adult come up to me and be like, "So, your child told my child Santa's not real." Like, yeah, dude, what? You're upset? Like,
yeah.
We ripped off the largest Band-Aid possible for you at this age bracket. Fuck off. Like,
yeah.
What are you talking about?
Well, I think that some parents
you're gonna come give me grief over fucking
when that happens,
magical beings.
When that happens, I've heard that some parents are just like, yeah, like Santa doesn't go to people's houses that don't believe in him, or something like he doesn't go to people's houses who are bad, or just to like sugarcoat it for their kid.
Yeah, to continue lying to their kid. That's such a crazy thing to say to your kid. Then.
Oh, it is crazy.
Because then implant the like, oh, well, their fucking kid's a non-believer. That's why Santa doesn't come there. Like, what? That's just insane.
Yeah.
I think there's merit to not like lying to your child. Like, even if it's wrapped up in
I'm
the
trying to
idea of,
picture-
like, it's this great merry thing.
I'm
It's
trying
like,
to picture a future situation. Say we're like all at my grandma's house. Colt's old enough to form sentences, old enough to kind of grasp, and around his cousins. And you know how, like, he's not old enough now to understand, but, like, for example, during Easter, I was always aware when I was speaking and saying, like, yeah, the Easter Bunny brought this for him this morning, just because older kids were there that did believe, or that do believe. So I'm picturing a future situation where he's aware enough and says that, and I just see it creating so much drama, honestly, that I don't want to be a part of.
yeah. It's also, I don't know if it's a good enough reason to not.
Yeah, so, like,
lie to our
what are we
kid.
going to say in that situation? How are we going to make it make sense to them?
Still, you can still celebrate the holiday. Why does there need to be
like
magic
what if
ghost things?
What if my niece says something like, yeah, like, he came to our house this morning, he brought me this and this and this, but he didn't come to your house? Like, what the hell are we going to say in front of all the kids?
I mean,
I'm just going to look over at my brother and sister-in-law and be like, you guys got this?
be like,
I got to go to the bathroom. Bye.
timer? And
Oh
just
my
go into the
gosh.
kitchen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
I'm not
that's-
saying there's a. I don't know. I don't know. If there's
Like,
a good
maybe
answer.
maybe that shouldn't be my main concern, but it's one of my main
That's
concerns.
also like, how often is that even like? Oh, he didn't come to your house. Like,
Well, if, like I said,
he's still gonna get Easter baskets.
like I said, if
He's still
Colton's
gonna
at
get
the
Christmas
age,
presents.
if he's at the age to have a conversation with her, and he tells her, like, no, he didn't come, but I had presents, like something like that. Like, he didn't come to my house, but we had
I
all
just
these
think
presents.
As long as his little brain wants to believe in it, fine.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if
We don't have to necessarily push the agenda,
yeah, but if he's like, hey, I've got a question about, Easter Bunny, like, I'd be like, okay, what is your question? And be like, well, Tapar at school isn't Christian, but he got me. Be like,
at
like,
first
oh,
I was like, what is that word? It was a name that you were going for?
yeah.
Okay.
Because not everybody celebrates Easter.
Yeah, and I feel like there's
The way-
nobody ever with that name, but
You
go
never
ahead.
know. And I'd be like, no, he probably didn't get an Easter basket then. Like, wait, so like the Easter Bunny? I'm like, well, dude, to be honest, the Easter Bunny's not real.
Yeah.
Or
Well, that's
like-
true. Like, that's a different
Again, like,
situation though,
the-
because they don't even, like, observe the holiday.
Well,
But I'm
I
talking
would
about-
imagine they have a version of. I guarantee they have a holiday set in that same 3-day window. Like, the Jews have
You mean,
Passover.
like, in April for Easter time or what?
Yeah, like Passover, Lent is all right around that same time.
Yeah.
I would imagine all the major religions all the religions that are based on the book, the good book, probably have a holiday around then.
Yeah.
And who knows? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's like kangaroo. I don't know. I don't know anything about these other religions.
A kangaroo.
But if somebody was like, well, since you didn't like my name, Timmy had a kangaroo come drop off a Muslim Easter present. I'm like, all right, well, yeah, dude, there's different religions
Right.
and they do different things. And there's no such thing as an Easter bunny. I don't know what to tell you. Terrible example. You know what? Screw it. Forget it. Terrible example. We'll just go with the easiest one, which is Santa Claus not being able to get to every house. Be like, yeah, because he can't.
Yeah.
You asked the magic question. I hate to break it to you, but Santa's not real. He couldn't get to every house.
Right.
Is there a team of Santas? There's not a team of Santas. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they go to all the malls.
The guy at the mall isn't. He's really just down on his luck. That's the job he had to take.
Yeah. I don't think that I would regret it if we never took him to see a mall Santa or like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't ever remember really doing it with my siblings or
Yeah, I can
our
tell you
family
that I
doing it.
definitely don't want to wait in those fucking lines.
Yeah, I don't really see the big deal.
Yeah.
Same thing with Easter
You're not
Bunny
even supposed to see him.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It would be weird that he makes himself available for 22 days of the year. for pictures only.
Yeah.
And personally taking requests.
Right.
And then on the day of, it's like, nah, dude. He's too busy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it's just...
It's funny to think about, though, like...
procrastinated plan.
It's behind you. It's behind you.
Dude.
Get it.
No, I'm not.
It's right here. Get it. It's right on your arm. By your arm.
I'll wait for it to land.
Oh, here comes...
Dude.
It's on your leg. On your thigh. You see it? Oh, you fucking missed it.
Well, dude, you're giving
Damn, babe. Be a
terrible
little quicker.
This fucking Santa talk's gonna be juiced up.
Bubba, go find the bug. Go find it. It's funny to think about, though, if, like, say they have, like, a little helper with them that's, like, dressed as an elf or whatever, who's supposed to feed them, like, the kids' names. It's funny to think about Santa, like, getting the name wrong anyways.
It would be funny
like,
to just give a, like, oh, what's your kid's name? Timmy. And then when Santa's like, oh, hi, Timmy, and have Colton be like, what? What?
Oh, yeah, give him a different name.
Yeah. My name's Colton. Oh, wait, Santa must have...
And we tell Colton before he goes up there, Colton, if Santa gets your name wrong, you're allowed to pull on his beard.
Yeah. No, I mean, I still think, like, he can believe it for as long as he wants to, but...
Yeah.
To, like, actively lie to him about it, I feel like is weird. And I don't even, like, again, I don't even remember having the conversations.
Do you think a part of it is, like, when parents have their kids believing it is because they don't want their kids to think they're spoiled and be like, we can get you whatever you want, really?
No, I think it's that's why I first brought it up when we were talking about, like, hamsters and death. I think that's why I brought it up, is it's way more closely related to, like, it's easier to not have to explain the truth
to protect them
to
from
a kid.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have a ton of questions. The second that you kind of drop the veil a little bit and show them some of reality, they're going to have a ton of questions. And
I said earlier, the thing with death is a lot different. Like, they're not even developed enough to grasp.
It's the same, like, concept.
But it's so much more emotion.
I don't know, dude. Kids get pretty fucking emotional over fucking N64. Like, you've seen the video of the kid getting an N64 on Christmas?
Have I?
You 100% has.
Was it, like, on Ridiculousness or something?
In fact, yes. I think the kid was a guest on the Ridiculousness. Like, I'm almost certain he was, like, a random... You know how they've had a couple episodes where they'll have, like, 5 guests?
Yeah.
I'm almost certain that kid he's been on one of those shows, whether it's Tosh.0 or Ridiculousness, for that video. He unwraps his fucking his Nintendo 64 and he's crying. I mean, he is in tears.
Oh,
so excited for his N64. I don't think anyone's getting that bent up over a hamster. Yeah,
that's well, depends on the kid.
And yes, like, I think you're thinking of it as an adult. There's a more fundamental and deep conversation to be had and discover around death.
Yes, and also because
Santa Claus isn't real, but
the thing you're losing is tangible.
Yeah, but to the kid, it's the same thing. Like, the two might as well be the same, because as a kid, you're literally all you're showing them is like, hey, there's like the world as you think it exists because you're 7. And I can just, like, I can blow your mind. I can peel back a layer of that veil just for a moment and show you, like, here's your dead hamster. This is what happens to dead hamsters. Or I could be like, look, dude, Santa's not real. Really, it's 2 deaths. I mean, Santa, telling him he's not real, Santa died. Santa died that day.
Yeah, but it's still different because
yes, I know, but
Santa is someone that's not in your house every day. When he supposedly comes to your house, you don't see him because you're sleeping.
Dude, he sees
the
you
pet
when
is there every day.
He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake at all times. He's always in your house.
The pet is there every day. You have a relationship with it. If it's a dog, especially.
Maybe for 2 days if you're having a hamster.
If it's a dog, I mean.
You're playing with your Power Rangers and you don't give a shit.
Gee, Bubba, you're doing a great job looking for that bug.
But there's a way more valuable lesson to be learned about being honest with death.
Yeah.
but again, I still stand by it's the concept of like people just find it easier to lie to their kids and keep them in this little dreamscape because they're like, oh, they're so innocent. It's like, okay. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with having a kid be a kid. But, like, I mean, you think about how, if anything, it just makes the kid in general so soft. If you were a cave person, you couldn't afford to have your 8-year-old be like, oh, Santa comes and gives us rocks to play with. Be like, yeah, no, dude. Fucking, there's no Santa Claus, sharpen that rock. We gotta go kill things. Like, fuck.
So there's nothing that you can think of right now off the top of your head that if Colton were to ask about or hint toward, you would say, I'll tell you when you're older. I mean, there are definitely things that you need to say that to.
Yeah, but that's not lying to him, though.
No, it's not.
It's being like, look, I probably hit him with like it's a very complex question, and it's one that I think we should wait for you to be a little older to have. But I don't even know what that would be.
Ask me again when you have a beard.
Like, because now more than ever, I think it's extremely valuable now to almost get it. Like, as much as I hate to say it, to get ahead. Like, if he's 8 and asking about sex, it might be the time to be like, all right, like, it's a very serious thing.
Yeah.
It's not something to be like trifled with. It's not something to like throw away.
Yeah.
Don't, just because you see things on TV, like, we know TV is like make believe.
Right.
It's make pretend. And so is what you, like, whereas like, I don't know, I feel like you could wait. When I was a kid, it was like you could be like 12 and still not have had like the talk.
Right.
With a parent.
Right.
And it's like now, it's like 12-year-olds might be having sex. In like schools. So it's like, no, I think now more than ever, it's like the time that you almost need to bring it. Like, you almost need to be, I'm not saying like shatter their world with honesty, but you might need to be like very precise in the way that you explain the world as they ask these questions. Because it's like, look, I have no intention. I don't want to raise like just a blind
I know. No,
child
I know
in
that.
The world.
I know that being educated about everything, like being educated about that kind of stuff, is better. Like, that's. But like, a part of me just feels like the more we teach him about that kind of stuff, it's just like I'm like scared, like that he's gonna want to like. And I'm not just talking about like the sex stuff when he's older, but like that he's gonna want to experiment and like try things and like. Yeah. I'm his mommy. I don't want him to do that stuff.
I mean, that is the answer right there. When he started standing, you were like, oh,
yeah, but I'm referring to things that could potentially harm him too. Yeah. Like, I don't know. That's why I know that being educated about those things is good, but I also feel like it could like spark curiosity more and just.
But again, I think that's where you have to, again, be pretty like deliberate and precise, and like obviously no one's going to be able to stop you at some point from.
But we want to be the ones that you come to if you have.
But like, yeah, you need
concerns or questions or.
Like.
You confide in us. Don't be scared to ask us. Yeah. So yeah, we'll come back to the Santa Claus thing in a few years when he's like kind of grasping the concept.
Dude, I'll be like, today was the day. Shattered his little world and told him Santa's not real.
Now I'm like excited about Christmas time.
Dude, I've been excited about Christmas time.
I know you have. And my sister, she like tagged me in something on Facebook today that looks really fun for Christmas time, and I want to do it. Yeah. And
it's what, 6 months away? It's half the year away. Right?
Less.
5 months. Wait, 8.
Yeah.
All of August, September, October, November. Yeah, we'll get a nice little
reprieve
in October. I can't wait.
Party.
Can't wait to start decorating.
His party will be less than.
I just feel like you go so long without doing anything in the house.
I know. It doesn't have to be that way, but I mean, who goes all out for like What have we passed recently?
Geester.
No, I decorated for that.
But you don't put lights up or anything.
No, I don't put lights up. You know, I didn't do shit for 4th of July. We fly a flag all the time, so that counts.
Yeah. One person flies a flag. I mean,
it kind of flies.
Don't even,
it gets wrapped up around itself.
Won't even get started on that.
Yeah, but I'm excited to decorate. If we had the space, I would just keep buying decorations.
Yeah. Good thing we don't have the space.
I'm not talking about storage space. I'm talking about to display them.
Financial space. We don't have the financial space to just buy all the decorations. Kind of.
I'm excited. Are you going to make me decorate for
Halloween? Yeah. Of course.
But I was going to ask when? Beginning of September?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see when the spooky stuff starts.
So Halloween is Elliott's favorite?
Yeah, when the spooky stuff starts.
But Christmas is coming in a close second for you these days.
Yeah, well,
is that thanks to me?
No.
Christmas is my favorite.
Credit to the kid choosing to be fucking born on Christmas. It's kind of
Christmas baby.
Almost have to be amped up on Christmas by 1,000%. Specifically because of that.
I'll never forget when I knew that it was time.
Yeah.
You were just got home, you were relaxing, you had popped a beer, and you were thinking of these few days you were about to have off. And I was like, babe, I don't want you to be concerned, but
yeah.
And the first thing out of your mouth was we're gonna have this baby on Christmas. That's what he said.
Yeah. It's damn, dude, this is happening. Christmas Eve, fucking water broke. Great.
Yeah. At least it wasn't
ruining the holiday.
At least it wasn't a gush of a break.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
That stuff was wild. The show with the doctors, I was like, whoa, things are getting crazy here. It's a lot of fluid.
Oh my gosh.
A lot of fluids.
It was a fun time. It was a fun experience, though. Yeah. Although, I mean, you didn't have the most comfy of sleeping quarters.
I was happy to be there.
Yeah. It was nice, too, because it was quiet.
Yeah, it was very quiet.
Because it was holiday.
The nurses, I remember, they were very sweet.
Yeah. They liked doing a photo shoot with him.
Yeah.
That was cute.
You were high. That was funny.
Me?
Yeah. When you got your little epidural, you were like...
Oh, yeah. It was magical.
Yes.
Remember, I was asking the lady that was in the middle of putting in my catheter, I was like, so am I going to be able to tell when I have to go pee? And she's like, you're peeing right now. And I was like, oh shit, I forgot I'm going to just be bedridden because I can't feel my legs.
Yeah, you're literally waist down. Nothing works.
It was great though.
Yeah. I almost wish I could have partook. Would have really tried.
You could have just popped it out of my back and yeah, and I had a button for more juice.
Yeah.
Push it.
God, I wish.
Honestly, though, I think I only hit it maybe twice.
I think that I would have liked to enjoyed that, but after my stint in the hospital, I don't think I could even register those type of drugs as that feels so good, because they were literally taking those drugs the maximum effect of those drugs were just barely making pain go away.
Of the ones you had?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no... Because even, I remember at one point, one of the nurses was even
Okay, so for those of you that don't know, he was in the hospital for a quarter of the year last year.
Yeah, I mean, you could have said 3 months, but...
A quarter. I wanted to emphasize.
Was it last year?
2021. No.
2020.
Yes, he was born end of 2020. So,
wait.
Last April through almost end of June.
Oh, yeah, I guess
he was in the hospital. And I mean, it's up to you if you want to get into why and all that stuff, but
I have a problem.
We want to keep it real, so if you want to...
We want to keep it on the same page. Yeah, no, I was an alcoholic. My name's Elliott. I think that's how it goes.
I was actually thinking about this all day, since you had sent me that text about missing us and just how you were struggling today. And I, like, on a serious note, I started thinking after you sent me those texts, and I was like, I think that I maybe sometimes take for granted or just kind of forget that, like, this is probably a struggle for you. Like, and I don't want to put labels on anything or, like, be dramatic or come off as, would the word patronizing, what does that mean?
Like
I don't want to come off judgy or anything, because I'm not. I just sometimes I forget that, like, it's a big deal, and like, maybe you go through things on a day-to-day basis that you don't tell me, or that are harder than.
I wish it were. I wish there was, like, a secret cabal of, like, feelings and stuff. I legitimately don't. I think about it right now because I'm like, man, I bet you the day-to-day would be easier to get through.
The reason that I was having those thoughts was because I was kind of self-reflecting, and
I really just
wondering if I'm being as supportive as I can be, or, like, as helpful as I can be, because if you have thoughts like that you don't share with me.
Nah, because I imagine after it wouldn't take very long of you being like, I'm so proud of you for not drinking, that I'd be like, okay, you can stop saying that now. It really doesn't need to be said anymore.
So the reason he had gone to the hospital, and we thought that he was just, did you get it?
I doubt it. I tried to smack it on the back of my head and don't think it worked.
We thought that he was, first we thought COVID, but
you thought COVID.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of the same symptoms that
pretty sure
people were having. I knew.
I didn't know what it was, but I was like, it was not good.
Yeah. But I just remember he had been going through it for probably like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
It was just getting worse and worse, and
I think it was 3 days. I think the 4th day is when we went to the hospital.
Yeah.
Tried to tough it out. I definitely knew. At first I thought it was food poisoning, and I knew after, like, the 3rd day, I was like, I don't think this is food poisoning. But
he was just like, there was one night I'll never forget that. I mean, I'm sure it was, like, more than just one night, but he was just constantly up and down out of bed, going to the bathroom to, like, get sick, like, constantly just throwing up.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time out here in the chair.
Yeah,
underneath
because you couldn't get comfy.
Yeah, that was the comfiest.
You had, like, the back pain.
Yeah, the comfiest I could get was in the recliner.
And all of this.
And I wasn't sleeping at all.
All of this.
Like, maybe sleeping for like 30 minutes.
That was happening turned out to be an acute pancreatitis attack, where it was, like, considered to be necrotizing. So it was
necrotizing pancreatitis. It died.
In simple terms, digesting itself. That organ was, like, kind of. The enzymes were, like,
it had leaked its
active
juices
too early.
it had leaked its juices on itself.
So
eating itself away.
And one of the reasons it's brought on is by, like, heavy alcohol consumption.
Best thing that ever happened.
I wanted to ask you, like, a real question about that too.
Like, you came prepped with a question?
Well, it's related to this, and I wouldn't have brought it up if we didn't start talking about this. But if that hadn't had happened, would you have ever stopped on your own, do you think?
Probably not.
It would have taken. You know, a podcast I've been listening to recently, a lot of people bring it up for some reason, but, like,
I mean, there's
whenever
a reason.
They bring up addiction, hold on for one sec. Whenever they bring up addiction, everyone always says the same thing, and I guess I never realized this, or I don't know if it's just a true blanket statement, but everyone always says, like, a true addict won't stop for other people asking them to stop. They have to do it on their own terms. They have to hit a point where.
What I was going to say is that, like, there's a reason that across the board, whether it's like Dr. Drew or whether it's intervention,
we love Dr. Drew,
or anything that has to do with, like, addiction. I mean, they always talk about, like, you have to hit a rock bottom. Like, the reason why I kind of find, like, intervention, some of it fascinating, some of it I think is just like a ploy, and I feel bad for the people.
Yeah.
But some of them are, like, legitimate, and what I find fascinating is, like, the addiction mechanic of the brain is so powerful, but you can almost, like, cut completely through it if you can manage to get the person and the brain to recognize, like, there's just no other avenue. Right. I can continue to do whatever it is I'm doing, or, you know, the rock bottom is gonna happen. And like, so for me, it was the rock bottom. I mean, it was the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And like in the shows, like I think while they're all varying drugs and stuff, I don't know if they were. I can only speak for mine. It was bad.
It was bad at one point.
But a lot of them, it's like, all right, well, your family is basically going to leave. And that means, like, your house is going to leave. Your money is going to leave. Like, the addiction itself is kind of going to have to go away.
Right.
Because you're not going to be able to provide for yourself. It tends to be, like, the rock bottom. But it seems to be, across the board, like a basic kind of jump start to the...
Yeah. But it was a really bad situation for a while.
Yeah, I wish I could have been able to enjoy some of those drugs. But...
Oh, God.
It wouldn't. What? I'm an addict. I'm allowed to say that.
So, like, as soon as that happened, his mom came. She doesn't live in the state, but she came. She flew here, and like I didn't know at first that we were allowed to come see you, but. Yeah. So Elliott texted me like the day after, maybe you were admitted, and he was like, "So is anyone gonna come see me?" And this was like pretty much height of COVID times.
Yeah. They were only letting.
So I was like, "Oh my God, I didn't know we were allowed to." I felt horrible.
Like a 3-month-old son.
Yeah, and I'm so thankful though that like, obviously it was like a horrible thing to have happen, but I'm so thankful that he was too young to know that like you were.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get emotional.
Oh,
like too young to know that you weren't there.
Yeah, it was.
Like I can't imagine like if he was this age. He says "dad" all day long.
It was It sucked, but it was hands down like the best thing that could have happened. I mean, he was septic at one point. Like he was just There were like
bloated. Like you were filled with like. Yeah. It was just not. It was not good.
Yeah. I think one thing I'll say is, and I know...
But you avoided major surgery.
Yeah.
Which is
I avoided basically every possible major thing that could have happened.
Yeah.
Fucking straight gangster genes over here. But I'll say, because I feel like at one point, I feel like, and who knows, I mean, they're all medical professionals, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt of knowing more than me. But at sometimes, I feel like they were really trying to be like, look, you need to get on your feet and you need to walk around. And I was like, yeah.
They really did want you to
I was
move.
like, I get it. But there were like some of those days where it's like, dude, it's just not happening.
Yeah.
And like, I remember, like, whenever I messed my back up, I forget what, like, it was like one day I was like, all right, fuck it. Like, I'm going to push through, just feeling like absolute shit and walk. And it was like, I did it. Came back to the bed and I was like, dude, my back is fucked up now.
Right.
Like, I don't know what I did, but my back is just, and I don't know what it was, but there was definitely, and it was probably just that I felt better, like my system had somewhat came back to normal.
Yeah.
But there was like, I just remember one day it was like, all right, I like swung my feet up out of bed and I was like, oh, like, I feel like I could just get up and walk. And then it was like, after that, I was basically just walking,
right,
like as best as I could. But no, it was I don't know. It sounds.
I mean, it was crazy times.
So,
we were new parents, and I was nursing, and I wanted to come see you as much as I could, but I also had like that mom guilt where like Colton's like 3-4 months old. Yeah. I don't want to leave him.
Well,
like even if it's with my parents, I just want to be with him. You know, but I wanted to be with you too.
To, I mean, everybody. Like,
yeah, God.
I'll never even be able to like thank the people enough. There were some of them that I was able to, in person.
You mean from your old job?
Yeah, and there's a ton that I just know that I won't.
Yeah. I mean, your mom, your mom too, she gave up so much time, like, at her own home. Like, she was here for a long time, just living out of a hotel, living with her relatives.
And that's something I feel...
I'll never forget when we first went to see you that first day. I didn't want to leave Colton, so it was my genius idea to take him, and we would just swap turns in the car. You probably don't remember.
No.
So your mom came in first to see you, and I was in the car with Colt, and then she went in, or I went in, and she was in the car with Colton, just because I wanted him to be right near me, like as near as he could be. But I'll never forget with your mom, like, I guess it was when she came out and she kind of told me what was up before I went in or something. And she said, just don't give up on him. And I think my response was like, I would never do that. Like, I love him.
Oh, that would make me
I'm not
emotional.
just gonna like get like, oh no, you're down and out. Like, see ya.
Yeah.
No.
No, shout out to my mom. I feel like undescribably bad at times. Well, not at times, because
that she was.
but just I hate.
Oh, those times you were giving her a hard time.
Well, no.
He spent a lot of time with.
Just that I had put her through like another stint of that. Like it had like what happened with my brother. And some guilt towards that.
Yeah.
But no, she's a rock star, dude. Like,
yeah, she is.
Greatly appreciate it.
And she's gonna watch this. We know she's gonna watch this, and I hope that we're making you emotional too.
Yeah. My big ass feet. Don't think I didn't see that.
What?
My mom said I got big feet.
Oh yeah.
It's like, thanks. Real support there.
Chief's back. He's probably like, "Are you guys still talking?
Yeah.
I'm trying to go to sleep."
But yeah. No, I mean,
it was
well time. But I mean, it's like one of the major reasons though that we're where we're at.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've definitely grown up in a lot of different ways. And I actually thought about it the other day. Just like sometimes it'll just randomly pop in my head that it's like I always like feel weird to use the word sober. Like I know I've talked to you about this before.
I think that you should feel proud.
Yeah, except like I didn't like in my mind there are people out there who got sober.
Right.
I didn't get sober. I was like smacked over the head with sobriety. Like
yes.
I didn't really have much of a choice.
But I'm sure that your body kind of went I mean it was going through hell because of like the pancreas stuff, but I'm sure you also kind of went through a different hell with just like cold turkey, like drinking and cigarettes, like everything.
I don't know.
I think
together.
Or you think the drugs helped you get through that?
I think just I think I was so messed up that
was like the least of your worries.
There was no way that the body was going to be like, oh, and by the way, we're feeling this. It was just like, well, you're already not going to be sleeping well. You already feel like absolute dog shit. Yeah. Like, hey, these are all symptoms of cold turkey quitting things that you're addicted to. So I'll never forget but again, it's really hard. Some of the memories are really hard to lock down because I was like so messed up. Mm-hmm. But I remember like I'm in the room and there's just obviously like machines everywhere.
Is this in the ER?
Probably.
So it was
no, because I had a TV. It must have been the first room. It wouldn't have been
This was the very first time.
I'm pretty sure.
Because you went and then you came
because
home
they were
and
only
then you went
giving
back.
me the time. They were only giving me like Tylenol 3. Like I was in a lot of pain, and I remember being like, "Man,
Was I with you?
No, I was in the room because nobody would have been allowed."
Well, I saw you in the ER the second time you went back.
But I mean, this story specifically is about trying to sleep, so nobody would have been there.
And they were doing that because
I would imagine they didn't know what was going on.
Oh, gotcha.
And so they weren't just gonna go and give me whatever pain medication I wanted because I said I was in pain. I remember like being in a lot of pain and being like, man, this is crazy. They're only giving me Tylenol 3 and they're giving me something else that's basically it's like prescription aspirin or something, prescription Advil, something like that. And I remember like I would start to get tired enough that like I would start to like sleep, but I was in such a weird, like mentally it was so weird that I would hear like the machines, like all the noises and stuff that were going on, and it was the best way to describe it was like being relayed in my head as if they were like people. So like you can almost sense, like physically sense when like someone's near you,
right,
or even in your like same space. There's like just a weird sensory feeling that you get.
Yeah,
it was like triggering that it was like the machines, the noises that they made, it was like somebody was trying to talk to me. And it was like, I remember at one point being like, I was like waiting I was like, man, I'll be able, in this weird mindset, I was like, I'll be able to get to sleep when everyone else around me gets to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so, and I was like kind of aware that I was like referring to the machines, but I was also like, well, there's just other people with me. Like, they'll eventually go to sleep and then I'll be able to go to sleep. It was like such a weird,
oh, wow.
it was so weird. Like, there was like 2-3 days, and I remember when I would finally doze, and I don't know what it was, I don't know what would cause it, but I would just have this flinch. And it was like, it started from like my back. It was so weird. I would just like finally, once my brain started to like shut off, I would just be like, and my back would just tighten up. And, God, it was so weird. Such a weird time, but made it.
Come a long way.
Yeah. Beat it all.
Yeah.
Like, all the major stuff that they were like, this could be a thing. It's like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Not happening.
We're incredibly fortunate.
Probably top 5 best things to have happened and that could have happened to me. Because now, like, all I can think about is that there is a separate timeline. There's like a separate universe where
you would think about that.
Where, like, that didn't happen. Or it happened, but it wasn't as severe, or it happened and I didn't take it as seriously.
Right.
And I just think about, like, what version of that produced as far as, like, relationship with you, Colt, all family, all that stuff.
Yeah. I think about the scenario where, like, it didn't affect your health that way and you were still drinking. And I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but I honestly think I might have trouble, like, leaving you with Colt alone.
Yeah.
If you still...
Yeah, probably be smart.
Yeah. You were, like, definitely, like, functioning.
Yeah.
You, like...
Highly functioning.
Yeah. I would still be very nervous, I think.
Yeah. So
I think about it, too, sometimes.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, we went through a lot last year.
I still got family stuff to work on. I feel like I've
wanted to bring that up.
So much on my plate, I feel like.
Yeah, because when you, those few times that you had reached out to some people and had, like, long phone conversations, I liked listening to you, like, talk to them.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's, again, I think a part was, like, I had bitten off a ton. Especially because I had time. I wasn't working in that, that time frame.
Right.
And,
but it's good that you took those steps.
Yeah.
Even if you did, like, let it fall to the wayside a little bit.
Yeah.
And also, it's a two-way street. Yeah. I'm not trying to throw shade, but it's not all on you, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I agree. And there, no judgment or anything.
No,
I'm just all. I'm like, man,
people have their lives.
I just now, it's like, man, there's a ton on the plate that it just makes, like, carving out the time. And then it's like, when I do have, like, the day or two.
Right.
It's like, I really want to try to devote that time to, like, you, him, and then have, like my sanity time where I can just be, like, playing video games for a bit. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Something to work on. Like, I mean, I do here and there.
You know, your
send texts.
Did you see that your brother commented on our first episode?
Which one?
If you haven't seen the first episode, go watch it.
Which brother?
I
don't look at any of that. So
the one closer to us.
Owen.
Geographically.
Okay.
Yeah, he left a nice comment.
Oh.
And no. I'm assuming that he would watch the other episodes because he said, like, he's looking forward to more.
Yeah, maybe I can always just reach out and text.
That was nice. I'm glad that
sometimes I forget that it is as simple as just be like, hey, but I definitely just feel like I don't have the time to be like,
yeah. I mean,
40-minute conversation.
Even if you don't have the time for a text conversation, it could just, like you said, be a simple, hey, thinking about you, hope you're doing good.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even have to ask a question or make it like...
Yeah, this is true.
You gave me the episode 3 bug that you had.
Yeah, dude. You are my little bug, that's why.
Aw.
All right, so...
Episode 4.
Hold on.
Episode 4.
Hold
on for... Don't say hold on like that, because you make me think you're going to fart.
No,
hold on.
No, I'm just trying to think of question. I gotta ask you a question.
Oh, but that counted as mine, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yes!
I would say so.
Got out of that one. Go ahead. Ask your question.
Yeah, I got you. I don't know, dude.
You don't have one? The roles have been reversed. I'm okay with it.
I feel like I want to ask you. I'd like to pick your brain about stuff that I'm interested in.
Oh.
And I feel like there's only so many times I can ask you about like ghosts and aliens and
Pick it.
dimensions and gross, dude. Get out of here with that. Ooh, I keep thinking, it's not even a question, we'll wrap it up. I keep thinking about my village of people.
Oh.
Yeah. I had
Farmville?
another guy. It's not Farmville. I had another guy die too. So I had
We'll call it Nerdville.
Had the one dude get kidnapped and I had another guy die.
Well, fucking
last night.
security or something. I mean, put up a gate. Guards?
The one guy died to a wolf.
Watchdog? Anything?
The guy died to a wolf. It was fucking whack.
You have a donkey. Make it a guard donkey.
I slaughtered it.
I don't even know what game this is, guys, but we're talking about some kind of game.
I needed food, so I killed it.
You ate the donkey?
Yeah, dude. You gotta fucking do...
What the hell? Was that the only animal? I'm sure there were better options. Chickens?
No, I don't have any chickens.
Really?
No,
Not even like squirrels?
You'd be happy that I haven't
Frogs?
slaughtered the dog yet, because it's come across.
Oh,
I thought about it. But 2 horses and a donkey. You gotta feed the village, man. You gotta keep them alive.
Yeah.
I got a message. There's supposed to be a spaceship I'm supposed to find. I think that's how you get off the world.
Oh, all of a sudden it like gets a little more
Well, so I showed you...
advanced.
Yeah, I showed you that there's like...
I mean, it basically just looks like trees and dirt. Now there's a spaceship.
All right. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Okay, episode 4. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah.
If you don't already, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at same page, the pod. Have you made any headway? Is that the word?
On?
With that dude, the musician?
He's...
Is this somebody that I know?
Yeah.
Did I ask you this already?
Yeah. He's, the last time I talked to him about it, at first it was
Does he like put music out on the regular? Or he's just...
He makes like beats. But he said he's very self-conscious about his beats. And I was like, well, dude,
Does he make them with his mouth?
No, dude. He's not Biz Marquee.
That would be pretty dope, too.
And I was like, well, we were pretty self-conscious about putting ourselves out there. But here we are.
Yeah.
So...
We're on this journey together.
And then the last time I talked to him, he was like, all right. So I was thinking about it. And he's like, I think I could do something. And I was like, yeah. I think you could too. You showed me, I listened to one.
Yeah.
That I was like, in the first 20 seconds, I was like, yeah, that sounds exactly like something we'd be looking for.
Yay.
So we'll see. But shout out to all my coworkers. I've got there's a handful of coworkers who...
Yeah, we won't say where, of course.
Like I said,
but...
they've been like, oh, hey, I think it's cool.
And a lot of them are former of mine.
Yeah.
Coworkers.
Yeah.
So there's a little crossover. But yeah, they're following and we really appreciate it.
I'm going to nag them as best as possible to keep listening.
And subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe.
Hopefully, this is somewhat interesting. It's got to be weird for them because
I mean, who can't relate to cats, dogs, and holidays?
Well, it's got to be somewhat weird for them.
And burning toast in the toaster.
The version...
Oh, because you said so on the last episode, you have to be so normal at work.
Yeah, the version of me that they're hearing here.
Well, the version of me when I worked
different.
there was not...
All right, well, you don't work there anymore.
No, I don't, but
I had to do this while you worked there. So I had to
be profesh.
Travel the line of two worlds where I'm working there while people know that I have a goofball brain.
Well, that's good though. So you're not just like some robot in the kitchen putting out.
True.
Yeah.
True. So I'll keep nagging them tomorrow. Make sure. I just want everybody to keep listening.
Yeah.
I hope they're not bored.
And sharing.
That's my word. That's what I'm self-conscious about. If you're bored, go fuck yourself. Like, share, subscribe.
Clip it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do have an email if your person wants to send music or send artwork.
I want to hear questions.
I don't want to keep this sign forever. So if anyone has a cool something we could
send questions.
Display.
I want to answer other people's questions.
Questions, debate topics.
Debate, dude, you would get crushed.
Well, I mean, that's maybe not possible because we're always on the same page, so we can't.
Dude, I'll bust out the Shane Gillis Donald Trump impression.
Oh, I watched that with you, I think.
Yeah, you did. He's
but yeah,
hilarious.
so our email is
he might have pancreatitis.
From drinking.
Maybe.
Same page, thepod@gmail.com.
Yeah. The pod. We're on the same page.
Oh, that one?
That guy, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, wait,
Shane
there's
Gillis.
another one. There's another, maybe it wasn't Shane Gillis.
Damn.
Maybe it was Nate Bargatze. Am I saying that right? Bargatze.
Yeah.
But somebody like had this bit where they said like Donald Trump, he'll just like, he enters a room and he says something, then he says it again.
Yeah, that was Shane Gillis.
Shane Gillis.
How dare you?
Okay, well, that's what I thought you were going to refer to, but instead you just said something about pod.
But that's what he did.
Okay, well,
I walk into the room and I see a podcast. I say, "Well, what a podcast!"
Yeah, there you go. It just repeats himself.
Just if you haven't, Matt and Shane's secret podcast. It's a good podcast. Listen to it.
Oh, you do religiously.
I like it.
I like your faves.
He's my Shane Gillis. I'm gonna call it right here. Mark it down. In the next 2 to 5 years, Shane Gillis is gonna be Tom Segura, Bill Burr level.
Yeah.
Maybe not Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is a top dog.
Yeah, he's
But he's gonna be a top 5 comedian all time. I'm calling it. He's so fucking funny.
He is funny.
So funny.
Yeah, he's funny.
I like him a lot.
I enjoy his like stand up more so than that podcast though, because just what I hear from it, it just sounds like a lot of like
it's a lot
sitting
of bros
around scratching nuts.
Love it.
Yeah, it is a lot of.
I mean, it's kind of what we're doing.
Okay.
Scratching D's and V's, guys.
Yeah, well, some of us on camera, some of us not.
Dude, go through it second by second. You'll find some V's.
I do. No, you won't.
You'll find some V's. Some V scratches.
Maybe some like adjustment of like the under boob, but not
some B's. Some B adjusts. All right. D's, B's, and V's.
All right, guys. Thanks
Same
for listening.
1, 2.